In today's video, we will look at a few problems on fluid mechanics. In these problems, we shall cover concepts such as gauge pressure, Pascal's law, Archimedes principle, and Bernoulli's equation. So let's get started. Problem 1. What gauge pressure must be produced in order to suck liquid with density 1700 kg per cubic meter up a tube by a height of 1.6 meter? Gauge pressure associated with liquid is simply given by the density of liquid times gravitational acceleration times the height of that liquid in certain column. The density is given to be 1700 kg per cubic meter. Gravity is 9.81 meter per second squared, and the height is 1.6 meter. And that will give you the answer for pressure in the unit of pascals. The answer is about 26,683 Pascal. As simple as that. Problem 2. In figure below, a spring with spring constant 35,000 Newton per meter, so that is the spring shown here in red. It's placed between a rigid beam and the output piston. An empty container, that is this one, with negligible mass is placed on the input piston, so that is the input piston. The area of that smaller piston, the input piston, is A. The output piston has an area of 20A, so you can see the output piston is wider. Initially, the spring is at its rest length. What is the mass of sand that must be slowly poured into the container to compress the spring by 10 centimeters? So in other words, how much sand in kg that you want to put in that container so that the spring is compressed in that manner. The reason why that happens is because of the transfer of pressure throughout the liquid, and that principle is dictated by Pascal's law. Whatever pressure that you exert, let's call it Pi, on that little piston or the input piston, will be transmitted undiminished to the output piston in an upward direction. We can call that pressure Po. So Pascal's law says Pi equals Po. Now Pi is the force exerted on that input piston over the surface area of that input piston, and Po, the output pressure, equals to the force exerted on that beam through spring, namely the spring force, over the area of that output piston, so we know it is 20A if A is the area of the input piston. Now we need to figure out the explicit form for Fi and F0. Fi refers to the weight of that sand that fills up the container, which is resting on top of the input piston, and that is just mass times gravitational acceleration. So over A equals, now what is the force on the output piston? We're dealing with a spring here, so it's spring force given by Hooke's law. So it is K, the spring constant, times the compression, we can call it delta X, over 20A. You see the A goes away, get cancelled, and let's put in the numbers. Mass is what you want to determine. G is 9.81 equals, the spring constant is 35,000 Newton per meter. The compression is 10 cm, so that is 0.1 meter over 20. And you can solve for the mass, which will turn out to be 17.8 kg. And that's the answer. Problem 3. How much work is done by pressure in forcing 1.5 cubic meter of water through a pipe if the pressure difference at the two ends of the pipe is 1.5 times the atmospheric pressure? Now, 1 atmospheric pressure in Pascal equals to 1.01 times 10 to the power 5 Pascal. So that is the conversion factor. So what you have here is a pipe like that, and water is going inside like that. So the pressure here, let's call it P1, the pressure there is P2. So P1 minus P2 is 1.5 atm. Now, because we have some kind of pressure difference involved and we want to determine the work, one theorem that comes to mind is the Bernoulli's theorem. So that is what we need to use in order to solve this problem. The question is, how do we do it? So of course we have speed here. Let's call the speed of water here is V1, the speed there is V2. Now these two regions are at the same height. So H1 equals to H2. Remember those terms associated with vertical positions in Bernoulli's theorem. So let's write the equation down. Bernoulli's equation is as follows. P1 plus half the density of water, V1 squared, plus a rho GH1 equals P2 plus half rho V2 squared plus rho GH2, but in this case it's the same as H1, so that will go away. Let's rearrange the terms. P1 minus P2 equals half rho V2 squared minus V1 squared, where P1 minus P2 is 1.5 atm. We know density equals mass over volume. So that means that equation can be written as P1 minus P2 times the volume of water that's being forced in equals half times mass of the water that's being forced in times V2 squared minus V1 squared. Keep in mind, we are looking for work. Now let's recall the work energy principle, or work kinetic energy principle. The terms on the right hand side is the change in kinetic energy. According to work kinetic energy principle, the change in kinetic energy equals to work. So that means the left hand side has got to be the work that we are looking for. What that means is the work done by pressure in forcing that much volume of water through that pipe with that much pressure difference is the pressure difference P1 minus P2 times the volume. The pressure difference is 1.5 atm. Now, if you need to determine the work in the units of joules, then we need to change atm to Pascal. We know how to do that. It's 1.5 atm times 1.01 times 10 to the power 5. So that is the pressure difference in Pascal. Now what about volume? Volume is 1.5 cubic meter. So you simply times that with 1.5 cubic meter. And that should give you the work in joules. Calculating, you'll get 227,250 joules. And that is the answer. Problem 4. If a bubble in water accelerates upward at a rate of 0.25 meter per second squared, and the radius of the bubble at that time is 0.6 millimeter, what is its mass? Neglect the drag force on the bubble. This problem can be solved using Archimedes' principle. Now let's look at the free body diagram. So that is the bubble. What are the forces acting on this bubble? Well, the first one is its weight. You can call it m times g. And then you have the upward buoyant force, F sub b. And of course this is accelerating upward, so there is this A. That's it. So Newton's second law says Fb minus mg equals ma. How do we determine the buoyant force on this bubble? Well, we use Archimedes' principle for that. The buoyant force in this case equals the weight of the water displaced by the bubble. So the weight of the water displaced equals the mass of the water displaced times gravitational acceleration. The mass of the water displaced equals to the density of water times the volume of the water displaced times gravitational acceleration. Now, the density of water is 1000 kg per cubic meter. Volume of water displaced equals the volume of the bubble itself times g, which is 9.81. How do you calculate this volume of bubble? Of course, if you assume the bubble to be spherical in shape, then the volume of the bubble equals 4/3 pi, the radius of the bubble, cube. So by substituting everything, so you have 1000 there, the volume is 4/3 pi, r is 0.6 millimeter. So converting that into meter, we get that. Don't forget the cube times gravitational acceleration. So that is the buoyant force. So let's substitute everything in this equation. The buoyant force is 1000 times 4/3 pi. Gravitational acceleration 0.6 times 10 to the power minus 3 cube minus mg equals ma. A is the acceleration, the upward acceleration of that bubble, which we know 0.25 meter per second squared. So you see, the only thing that we don't know is the mass of the bubble, and we can solve for it. Remember, g is 9.81. Solving for m, you get 8.8 times 10 to the power minus 7 kg. So that is the answer for the mass of the bubble. And that solves the problem. Thank you for watching.